Salutations, my Fallout lovers. It is Matty here today with a interesting story in the Fallout community. Bethesda is being accused of stealing mods from the modding community, specifically the Autumn Leaves mod from Fallout New Vegas, which dropped back in 2015 in October. So now we're going to analyze this story, break it down, and I'm going to give you guys all the facts and interpret it for yourself. So essentially what happened is that there was an article written by the creator of the Autumn Leaves mod, and he was incredibly fair in this entire article, not attacking Bethesda at all, and in fact being cool with them being inspired by his work. So before we attack anyone, do know that both sides are entirely okay with this, and where this conversation should go is not putting Bethesda in the crosshairs and attacking them or even attacking the mod maker himself, but more so how can we reward modders. So this is why we are talking about this. When we look at these comparison photos, we see a lot of similar things between Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC questline, Brain Dead, and the Autumn Leaves questline mod for Fallout New Vegas. We see the player entering the vault and talking through the comm system to get themselves inside. Nothing different there. We've seen this type of stuff before in the Fallout universe. Then things get interesting. You see the main atrium, which is a very similar build to the mod itself, and on top of that, the main quest itself, which consists in investigating the murder by checking the crime scene and speaking to every robot in the vault. So yes, both quest lines are about investigating murder scenes and talking to a bunch of robots. And in both cases of the mod and Vault 118, the mysterious death is of someone who worked alongside Vault Tech to build this special place. Also, both the mod and the questline in Fallout 4 have the importance of voice modulators in the plot to distinguish the robots between themselves. Lastly, there is the quote sexy time moment where you are able to bang a robot, get your pork on, and then also you can discuss paintings with a robot. Now, I'd say the only thing we can remove from this is the sexy time with the robot, because do we all not know about Fisto? Okay, I don't think this mod originated that, but nonetheless, let's discuss this as a whole. The article goes on to mention the following quote, now, truth be said, I honestly thought Bethesda staff played Autumn Leaves, had a blast with it, I hope, took some things out of it and made their own thing for Far Harbor, and I seriously think this is perfectly okay. After all, Autumn Leaves inspirations are countless. Asimov's Cluedo, Planescape Torment, Arcanum, older Fallouts, etc., and being influenced is a natural part of the writing process. So this is coming from the words of the mod maker himself. He is not making this article to attack Bethesda in any way or claim that they're plagiarizing, because a lot of the headlines are Bethesda is plagiarizing mods, Bethesda is stealing from the modders. This guy is okay with it. But here's where the problem comes in, because obviously it's very clear from these coincidences that the mod was clearly the inspiration for this quest line. So let's look at the legal aspect and then the moral aspect, because according to the EULA, the End User License Agreement, you actually allow Bethesda to have the whole rights to your mod in the creation kit itself for both Skyrim and Fallout 4, and it's the same thing as well in the GEC. It's just worded differently, but it is all there in writing, essentially giving Bethesda the right to own your mods. And here is the exact quote from the Skyrim Creation Kit EULA, which says, if you distribute or otherwise make available new materials, such as mods, you automatically grant Bethesda Softworks the irrevocable, perpetual, royalty-free, sub-licensable right and license under all applicable copyrights and intellectual property right laws to use, reproduce, modify, adapt, perform, display, distribute, and otherwise exploit and or dispose of the new materials, which are the mods, or any part of the new materials in any way Bethesda Softworks or its respective designees see fit. So yes, although we have to resort to legal matters, they are not really breaking the law or plagiarizing, because when you start to create the mod, you agree to allowing Bethesda to exploit that very mod you are making. Now, another thing that's worth pointing out is that Josh Sawyer did say that a lot of the Fallout 3 mods inspired certain mechanics inside Fallout New Vegas, and I don't know why we are going to go ahead and point the finger at Bethesda and attack them when developers have come out of their way and said that, hey, we included iron sights, survival mode, etc. are all inspired from mods. So why is that okay when this isn't? Well, I think the reason that is because those are game mechanics that we expect, such as the sprinting implementation that was in both New Vegas and Fallout 3 mods that was brought in to Fallout 4. Mechanics are expected, while quest creation and stories are expected to be in the hands of, yes, the creators. They are supposed to create the natural experience for us to immerse us in the world and believe that they are giving us something special. And when we see that inspiration clearly being taken from somewhere else, it can be a little off-putting. But here's the other thing, is that that the Fallout universe that we know and love was clearly inspired from Mad Max, and there were so many things that were clearly, if you put side by side, the same, that honestly people could call the same argument for that as well, but we're not going to because we love the Fallout franchise in general. And this is not me defending Bethesda by any means, but this is me more so saying that we used to commend Bethesda for listening to the mod community and taking some of their work and implementing it into their games, and listening just to the community as a whole, not only from a vocal standpoint such as my wishlist series, but also from the modders who do such hard work to show us mechanics that should be in the next Fallout game officially. Where this discussion should go is not who's right and who's wrong, because technically both sides are right. I think Bethesda should have given credit in some way or form to the mod maker, but I also think because the mod maker agreed to the EULA when making this mod, that legally he would not have something to complain about if he actually wanted to complain, which he's not, which is the other thing, is that people are making a controversy out of nothing when the mod maker went out of his way just to say, hey, if you guys want more of something like Brain Dead, I made this mod that's kind of the same thing, so check it out. And if you play through the mod and then you play through the quest line Brain Dead, you'll notice that the only similarities are from those pictures and some of the characters themselves, but mostly everything else is quite different and distinguished. But we cannot deny the similarities, and Pedons actually did respond to this on Twitter and went to the length of saying that he talked to someone in the office just to verify this information and said, we have a crazy respect for our modding community, we love them, we would never do that at all, it's just a coincidence. And now this is not me tooting my own horn, because I know people are going to receive it that way, but as someone who has personally met these people from Bethesda and know their vision, they appreciate modding so much. They have so many articles about modders and mod creations on Bethesda.net. They made Bethesda.net for modders to get their mods onto consoles, to get more exposure there, and they just like them so much. I also said in my video where I met the Bethesda crew that Todd Howard came out and started talking about all the cool creations between mods and videos and so on that fans had made. So Bethesda is very invested in their community, and I think it would be very stupid if they thought they'd get away with this, which I don't think they were trying to do. Here's what I personally think happened, and is the most believable scenario. Bethesda Game Studios, due to the fact that they are a smaller team, design dungeons in an interesting way. We'll take Vault 118 as an example of said dungeon. Instead of having a writer team drive the entire experience of everything in the game like most games do, instead Bethesda Game Studios will give a designer who would craft a world space the ability to create the story and the lore inside a certain area. So most likely a game designer of some form who could craft a level also said, this is the story I want to tell here, and got inspiration from this mod. So really what's happening is potentially one guy is essentially setting up Bethesda to get yelled at by everyone, and I don't think that was his intention. Just like the article from the mod creator itself says, being influenced is a natural part of the writing process, and we all have that. If you've attended school, then you do know that you get a lot of influence from different places online, as well as in the books you have to read when you're writing those essays. But like I said, where this conversation needs to go is, how can we reward the mod makers? That's what's important here, not who's right, not who's wrong. How can the modders be rewarded here? My idea is perhaps a modders royalty program. When a mod hits a certain amount of downloads or a certain rating at the end of the month, Bethesda rewards them in some unique way. Perhaps a good example would be, hey, you get beta access to our next DLC, so you can play it early before everyone else does, like an advanced beta in a sense. Maybe early access to their game titles as well. Hey, you worked so hard in extending the longevity of our game, you made one of the most popular mods out there, here is a reward for you. It doesn't just have to be money. I think modders are happy with any kind of reward at this point, and I think they deserve it, because like I've said in other videos before, they are the reason that YouTubers like myself exist. We create because they create. We have the longevity of these games where Fallout 4 will be done this August, but instead it's going to live on for years because of modders. That's why this stuff is so important. So like I said, I would like the conversation to be shifted in a focus on how we can reward modders, not who's right, not who's wrong. I do think Bethesda should give some credit, maybe do an interview with this guy specifically about his mod, and mention during that interview that, hey, we were inspired during Brain Dead by your work. Can you tell us how you created this? To show in some way that they're acknowledging that the inspiration was there, because yes, it could have just been a coincidence, but even so, it's still there. It's still blatantly obvious that it looks like something was up. But that will end the news and the discussion on this. This is a very important video to make, and if you guys are interested in any more mods, there is a Fallout 1.5 out right now called Fallout 1.5 Resurrection. If you're interested in the old school Fallout games like Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, etc., then you might find this interesting, because this is a mod that naturally continues the Fallout 1 storyline, and I saw it in a trailer online. I just wanted to share it with you guys. It's not like sponsored or promotion or anything. I just wanted to share with you guys this cool mod while we were talking about mods. And if you're looking for a new Fallout experience, there will be a link to the trailer down below. You can learn about this game some more, and I just wanted you guys to give that a look as well. So let me know what you're thinking on all of this in the comments down below. This has been a long discussion video, and I'm really curious to the reception on this one. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. The links are down below in the description, as well as all the sources and the videos I've mentioned in this video itself. Check out sugarbomb.com, the place by Bethesda fans for Bethesda fans. Other than that, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.